Disasters such as Harvey, Irene, Irma, and Maria are discussed endlessly among my peer group. We worry about the extent of their destruction. Endless hours of watching people being rescued, of homes being flooded in Texas, of people living without power in Puerto Rico. It might seem unusual that these hurricanes wreaked havoc and destruction not in India where I live, but in America, far, far away from home. But their impact was felt in New Delhi, and what seems stranger is that Oki meant nothing to us. A cyclone that devastated parts of South India. So close to home, but did not catch our attention, even for a short bit. Donald Trump's speeches stir up many debates and conversations. Games talked about are not usually played in our country. Clubs followed are not Indian. Entrepreneurs, scientists, and innovators looked up to are not Indian. Is it that we are so much in awe of the West that we are unable to see our neighborhoods and relate to them? So much so that our sense of self is not drawn from our surroundings, but from an imaginary world that we think we inhabit. It's not that we should not be aware of what's happening around us, it's just that somehow to us, our world is restricted to our bubble. As privileged urban children, we are limiting ourselves by staying within the bubbles that have been created for our safety, disconnecting us almost entirely from our immediate surroundings. The need to get out there, to understand problems, to be a part of solutions, seems to be escaping us almost entirely, and I do not like it. Where does our indifference originate from? And where does the powerful influence of the West come from, which makes us so apathetic to what is around us? Is it the films we see, the literature we read, or the news we follow? Does our environment tacitly reinforce this thought, one that is silently alienating us from who we are and where we belong? Many of us say that we do not care or feel responsible for Delhi because we are anyways going to go and live abroad. Take, for example, the pollution levels in Delhi. They are alarming, but the measures that we all took were only for ourselves. Some of us invested in air purifiers. Some of us decided to move out of the city completely. But did any of us go to the root of the problem? Did any of us even attempt to understand the problem, let alone deal with it? We spent endless hours scrolling down Instagram and checking Snapchat stories of random inanities. If we do not sit up and take notice and responsibility of our surroundings, I fear we will be a very lonely lot. I sometimes wonder if the self-absorption emanates from ignorance or just callousness. Whatever be the reason, I protest. I want to feel about things, issues that do not affect me directly. I want to feel that I can make a difference because I know that I can make the necessary difference. And the reason why I believe fervently that we need to do something about our apathy and why I am passionately talking about this is an incident which shook me completely. The much-awaited football match between Vasundhara and my beloved house Shishri was scheduled for Saturday, not a regular school day. I had been eagerly waiting for it, this being vital as it was to determine our eventual fate on sports day, given that 50 points were up for grabs. When I reached the school, to my dismay, there were only 4 children from my house who had reached. My heart sank. I immediately started calling up my housemates. Most of them had the same reply, "It's Saturday, it's just a house match." I did not feel like getting up early. I was stunned at the callous attitude and the indifference. And at that moment, it's as if the story suddenly came together. One of general apathy and lack of pride and belonging, whether to the house or to the nation. I want to roll down this metaphorical window and actually see, smell, and feel. Some of it may be uncomfortable. Some may even be shameful. But it is up to us to find that one oasis and work from there. This is my nation, and I must naturally feel a sense of pride in belonging to it. I want to burst this bubble, step out, and work in my nation and for my nation. The tears that sting each time I sing the national anthem can roll down freely as I feel the sentiment and live the surge. This realization that the desire to change has to start from me instead of blaming and lamenting others has motivated me to take a small step to recreate the environment that we all want. The blog that I've recently started, We Stand for India is in that direction. Through this platform, I hope to share some very relevant facts about our country. I feel that even if I can make my immediate peer group discuss issues, good or bad, it would in some way make a difference and inspire all of us to work together for this country that I am proud to call my nation. Yes, I am a privileged urban child, and I care for the surroundings that define me.